yeah, I'm sure you can think of that story that keep resonating on you. And I guess it's because of the talent of these authors, songwriters, filmmakers, artists like you guys that have these skills to create a world that we can immediately believe in. And they show us these characters we can connect with in a very meaningful way. So those stories stay with us. Like they keep resonating after we finish the book or the story ends, right? And I think also the reason those stories keep resonating on us is because with us. It's because in a way I think they help us express ourselves. It's like we can see ourselves, at least part of ourselves in those characters. So that's why we always say at SIMA that stories shape us. They shape our ideas, our opinions, our identity at the end of the day. We listen to this story once and again, and then they become part of who we are at the end of the day. And so I'm sure you can think of those stories. When I was coming to the conference, I was thinking about those stories that still resonate on me, and I thought, for example, this movie, The Dead Poets Society, I'm sure you watched that movie, or The Diary of Anne Frank, that I really can see, I see how they influence my own path. And they have this power of shape the way we see the world and also how we show up. Mira was talking about the importance of showing up. And stories have a direct impact on that. And that's especially, this is especially important nowadays, like the stories, because the story matters, but also the quality of those story matters. Especially in the era of fake news, where authentic narrative becomes an antidote to prejudice and doctrine, right? So we need to know how to identify those authentic narratives. So having access to those kind of narratives is key. Why we think it's so important to access those authentic narratives? Because not only they overcome prejudice, but they help us build those building blocks for global citizenship and global citizenship education, building blocks like cross-cultural awareness, media literacy, global competency, civic engagement, and social action. We believe visual storytelling can give us can activate the process to develop these building blocks, but as a mindset to develop skills as creativity, collaboration, those things that you, Patty and Julia mentioned before, and also critical thinking is so important. According to UNESCO, only 2% of young people can recognize fake news today. And I think it's not only young people, I think it's all of us. So those things are really important if we want to serve through visual storytelling, to serve 21st century education. At SIMA is a social impact agency. Each year since 2012, we run a social impact media awards. We gather films, social films from all over the world, and we select the most eye-opening, engaging films, and we connect those films with students because we realize the potential they have as a learning resource. They really are like a gem, and they give us the pulse of what is happening in the world from this very creative and cinematic and creative way. So we wanted to share this with the world, and we create SIMA, what we call SIMA Classroom, where that I love to describe SIMA as fast track for global education, where students can take this journey from empathy and critical thinking to action. So educators, teacher, professors, or educators in any form forum, educational forum, can access this film portal and find these resources, curated playlists. So you can find playlists related to gender equality, climate change, youth leadership, and I see a lot of young people here. We have films of students, young people all over the world doing amazing things. So it's not only about showing the problems, the challenges that we have, but also the solutions, and inspire students from there. So beside the playlist, we pair the movies with lesson plans. There are like more than 15 lesson plans that teachers can use as a guide, as a springboard to start a conversation, a dialogue, and to also bring those ideas inspired by the films to life in classroom. So students, after watching a film, they can start their social enterprise, or they can create, one lesson plan is called The Artist, where students create an art exhibit and they open that to the community, and they made an artist manifesto expressing their voice about that topic. Nowadays, there are more than 40,000 students using the platform, and almost 2,000 teachers using these resources. And this keeps growing because since we bring the movies from the awards, and that happens every year, this grows every year. And there's not only short documentaries, there are also VR, virtual reality films. So it's trying to show, like in the most immersive way possible, how other people are living and facing problems. Like, it takes students to like beyond the classroom walls, to the front line of today's global issues, to have that first-hand experience, and from there learn more about the topic, but also do something about it. And we really have like a lot of positive feedback from the teachers and their students. I just brought some examples here. This is a quote from Michelle. She says, "I've never seen a class so motivated and inspired." And one of her students says that it's not only about learning something, but having that instinct to do something about it. And it's really what happens after watching this type of visual storytelling. The case of Michelle, this is a high school teacher from a high school in Los Angeles. She's one of our early adopters of SIMA Classroom. And one thing that she told us is like, her students always like to pick those movies that are on the ground, that the students feel they're real, that they can follow the characters, their personal journey. They don't want something that only looks beautiful. They want to feel, to have the real contact with those characters. One time, 2 years ago, they picked a movie called Not Anymore, A Story of a Revolution. That's the story of a young female journalist in Syria. And after watching the movie, they design and implement an impact campaign for the whole school during a town hall meeting. So they invite the whole school, but also the community. And there were these high school students. The teacher said that some of them were very shy, and they were there, like standing in front of a large audience, adults, and they were telling what they learned about Syria, what again, I'm going to say this word again, but they include their own voice. This was not, they were not only like telling which others said about that. They watched that film, they could really like discuss, they opened up a conversation, and they shared that with that audience. And then that led to a fundraising campaign, and then they support Save the Children, and most important, like in a moment where Syria was not a popular topic to talk about, at least in that school, like in many classes, they started to talk about the topic and do something about it. So it's really creating awareness and inspire people to act. So the invitation is to harness the power of visual storytelling to awaken, inspire, and activate changemaker. And I want to highlight, before I finish my presentation, the word power. I really believe like the power lies on the fact that through these stories, we can really connect. And that's something that is really necessary, like we can connect with the world around us, but also we can connect with ourselves. And from there, from finding our own purpose, our own passion, we can serve the world, we can act in the world. And we really believe like that's, there's no better way to take students' engagement to the next level than to find our own voice and understand how we're gonna serve the world from there. So thank you very much for your time.
You're